Before I carry on filming tonight, I just want to show off what the rest of this video is going to be recorded on. This is a homemade, something like a fig rig. It should have the same balance as one. I put together. It's not exactly homemade. It's hacked together from an old underwater dive camera, and the remains of that being down here. This slide plate used to be on top of that plate. This plate used to be on top of the plate under there. Glass screen went on the mount at the end there, and the whole thing was wrapped up in a big, I don't know, plastic rubber bag with this waterproof zip on it. Of course, that had more holes in it than the colander, so that got torn off. Took these parts, just drilled and tapped that, and now this mounts to the camera. It looks a bit off center, but so is the lens on the camera, so it comes at about center of gravity. But it's I think it's a nice result. The rest of the video will be on this thing. Hello Internet. Here's a rather late night Friday update from the workshop. It's as you can see, not a lot has changed. Now I've brought down the PC that will eventually be running the CNC gear. It needs to be hooked up, get the screen up on the mount there. Board still hasn't migrated across to the other wall. That cabinet still hasn't moved. This still hasn't fallen down though, which is good. Welder's back down here. I'm going to take the gas bottle off that and take that to the London hack space at some point to try and weld a frame together in situ rather than taking parts back and forth, and obviously not going to take the whole welder with me. It could be no transport for it. Tonight I've finally got around to waxing the horns. Unfortunately, there's been a family crisis this last couple of weeks, so things have fallen behind a bit as a result. So I'm only just getting around to things, and I've got to really rush to catch up now. Yeah, the horns, they look quite nice. Some of them have probably can't see. It might be to see on the camera. Unfortunately, this doesn't adjust focus once it's filming, so you can see there are trace lines on here. So they got some lot of nice wear on them. They're probably going to be varnished tomorrow, because what I've been told by people is, yeah, you want them shiny rather than realistic, so get them shiny. I've also been looking at some of them, the shape of some. Weird noises sound like someone trying on a spring or something. Some of them are thin enough. I'm thinking that they might be better suited, or at least have the option to have them as barrettes. Sort of. We'll just borrow this mystery head up the side of the head, rather than mounted on top. But we'll see how that goes. The pneumatic switch on eBay is finally turned up. That's the pneumatic timer switch. Because seems to be the simplest way of getting a short period timer to run mains voltage, and that'll be going on the still unfinished line bending rig. Around here, got a couple of little bits. That's from the brazing hearth that got taken to the hack space from the college, and that's being made to run on butane, so that should be right. I just need to wait for a new hose barb fitting to turn up, and should be alright there. There's the new vacuum chamber I built. Seems to work alright. The seal's still not very good. Got some stuff piled on top of it at the moment, but yeah, it's alright. It's alright. Vacuum pump's now hiding under the workbench. You can probably just about see it there. Yep. Compressor's working now since they sent me. I actually bought a new filter regulator from an entirely different source, because the first one was just so bad. It was full of aluminium swarf, and the seals were split and twisted, and they got some cock up in the. They got a cock up in the communications department, so unfortunately they sent me a replacement when they were sent a refund. They've now refunded me, but apparently they don't want the one they sent me back. Maybe they're embarrassed, I don't know. But yeah, so I've got a spare regulator sitting around, but that's the one I'm using because it's smaller, it's better made, and it was cheaper by about £5 as well. So I've got all push fit connectors on there as well now. So I've got 1/4 inch BSP fittings there, a small Rush fit connectors, quick fit. They're not exactly designed to be used one-handed though. Get on the blowgun at that end. Got the same. Also got the same thing on the little airbrush I was given about 2 years ago now. Finally got around to using. It's clean. Bought some new nozzles for it, so hopefully yonder horns will hopefully be yonder airbrushed. Those haven't progressed. I need to make some solid backs for them because the initial quick cheapy mold castings came out a bit uneven, so I need to make some sort of support. The rest of the interesting stuff is stuff that's migrated from the hack space, but as a quick one here, that's all stuff that will be going in one way or another. Some of it's going to be sold, like the sets of drawers there, the library sort of index card drawers. Other stuff in here might be probably going to be donated to the hack space. I need to take 1 or 2 fans out to realise I need them for a possible project in future. I'm thinking one of these to make quite a compact. Oh blast! What they called? Heat exchanger, possibly for bathroom use. So middle of winter you can still get some fresh air in there, and while not losing all the heat of the bathroom, because bathroom's the last place you want to have cold. Cables might get a few quid for. Heavy duty chain. These are all sorts of bits and bobs lying around. Unsorted pile, unsorted stuff that does seem useful. There's enclosures down there and bits of the dead projectors, metal, batteries, wood. Heater cabinet, which is now down to 17. It was down to 15 earlier. So I need to get the heater reconnected in there before the winter really starts kicking in, because we're just hitting autumn now and it's going to start getting cold. Projects are all tidier up here now, which is a good thing. They're trying to make a plastics recycler at the hack space, so I'm probably going to see about taking some of these bits in once I modify them a little. Alright, first off I forgot to mention when I was in the workshop, which is just that I'm going to try and make these videos once a week, so it's sort of a weekly roundup of anything interesting that goes on. Partly so I get more YouTube views, partly so I can actually keep a log of what I'm doing, just make sure I'm keeping myself active, because if I get to a Friday and think, I've got nothing to talk about for this last week, then obviously I've not been doing enough, which is bad if you're trying to run your own business. Anyway, before me here are some of the items collected this week. At the far end here we have a speaker mat, which I actually got off eBay, which cost me I think £4 plus £3 postage. It's not too bad considering Speak and Spells actually go for an awful lot on there, and this used the same voice chip as the Speak and Spell. It actually seems to be the cheapest way of getting hold of a voice chip. I did have the PDF of, well, a PDF of the pinout for the chip. Unfortunately I can't find it now, and I can't find it online either, so I'm going to have to do some hunting there. Also, they also use a proprietary format apparently for the ROM data, the speech data chips. So I'm going to try and see if I can get a ROM dump off the chips there. They seem to be two 128k chips. Was it 256k chips? 256 I think it was. In either case, if I can get the ROM data dumped, then I can't seem to have done it yet. Yeah, there are apparently emulators for, what's that called on? Oh, of course, the keyboard. Apparently it's ROM emulators or something, but there's no actual ROM data. You've got the speech chip there, and 2 voice chips at the side there, and the classic alphanumeric display. That's quite nice. My goal is to make a robot that swears with the voice of a Speak and Spell. It should be quite cute. Now, here we have some acquisitions from the hack space over the last week. USB cable with pinout on it. Hopefully that will fit the touch screen, which I forgot to mention. That also turned up in the scrap boxes last week, I think, so more than a week ago, but I think that should fit. We have, what they call them, kilowatts. They're plug-in power monitors. You plug through there, and it monitors, the watts and the power factor and all the rest of it. It's taken off. I don't know if it would. Honestly, I don't even know if it still works. But the liquid crystal display there with rubber pads, it's maybe hard to get working again. We'll see. I also want to try it out as is first, but I'd like to see if there's a serial output or something on it that you can access. If you can, it'd be quite nice, because then I can use it for more more automatic power monitoring of a few things I've got an idea for. The back there we have a small squirrel cage fan. We have a power supply. It was in the 3-week disposal box. 10-turn pot that came in with the diffusion pump, which is now at the Hackspace because we're building up a high quality vacuum rig, hopefully. I've contacted Edwards Vacuum to see if we can get data sheet on the pump, because it's a very old pump, it doesn't have it on the website. But that little pot there might suit to replace the slightly dodgy one on the signal box thing, frequency generator that's in the workshop, because that glitches at certain points. Here we have 2 bits out of a rack. They seem to be dismantling the rack apparently for the aluminium, which seems quite a big waste really, but it's some sort of BT older telephone switchboard testing rig. You see there, that says tester 284A test call sender 86244. We've got lots of beautiful old sort of 60s, I'd say 60s era incandescent lamp holders. It's just this is most of why I took this, because it's just beautiful, and you've got little incandescent bulbs in there. It's very cute. There's some switches there that might be of some use as well, but mostly I picked it up for those. And the fact that this one here does have sockets for the transistors and the old the carbon powder speaker elements you used to get in the sort of Bakelite phones. There's that item just there, presumably so let's see, listen in on test calls or something. Make sure that's what's it? OG leap, line reverse, meter pulse, 400 Hz tone, 1000 Hz tone. Yeah. And the second one, or same from the same rig, has a nice little counter, apparently for total calls. The counter is jammed, it's not resetting, so I might see if I can open that up and repair it. Lots of relays, but this one here has a very cute, very sturdy looking little printer. And it doesn't look like thermal paper. I mean, it may be thermal paper, but it doesn't look at all like it. Doesn't have that waxy feel. So I'm guessing somewhere in there's an ink cartridge, or possibly even an embossing mechanism, but it's impossible to tell really. I need to take it out of there and see. But it's got an interesting little ratchet feed. It seems like every time this goes round, if this solenoid is active, it pulls down a pin which engages a ratchet on this gear, which progresses it by one line, so it'll move out chunk. Obviously that's not a very technical term, but I picked up this fan. This was in the scraps box months and months ago. Someone took it out because it looked useful, they left it on a table, and presumably it's no longer in use because it hasn't moved from that table in about 3-4 months. And I was looking for a strong mains fan I could use for the extractor on the brazing bench, the brazing hearth, where I'm adapting and getting working there. It's very grubby, and it's an aluminium cast and all the paint's flaking off, so I'm going to strip it down, scrape the paint off, get it resprayed, get it all nice and ready to go. Because worst case, I have to give it back to the person who was going to use it, and they get it back in a better condition. And finally, the stuff, picked this up yesterday when we were in town, and someone had me throwing it at the skip out on the estate. It's obviously the controller for CCTV camera system, which is no use to me as it is. There was actually an entire Sony CCTV setup there, the multiplexers, video recorder, and jog set for watching the footage back. It was quite a complete set, including a camera which got smashed by someone apparently just trying to salvage the metal from the housing. It's a damn shame, really, but it's quite nice. It's quite a nice little angled set. It's quite, it's got nice beveled edges. Mostly, it's got this lovely joystick which lets you turn as well, apparently for zoom. But I'm thinking this might be good as a sort of breakout or terminal for the CNC machine. Get some manual controls, or maybe just some sort of huge remote control unit. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I'll cut this short now because you don't want to be watching this. I've just turned on the computer and found out that the next episode of Shadow of Israel has come out, so I'm going to go watch that now.